Okay, it is 9 a.m. on May 26, 2026, and we will convene the meeting of the Seward County Board of Commissioners. The Open Meetings Act is posted on the wall as required, and copies are available upon request. Please stand as we recite the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please make sure your phones are silent. So, Brandon, can you call the roll? Here.
Here.
Tweedy.
Here.
Klein. Here. Zabrowski.
Here.
Here. This is item number 3, which is approving minutes for May 19th, 2026. If there are no changes, we'll take a motion.
Second.
Please call the roll. Klein.
Yes.
Garrett.
Yes.
Tweedy.
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Yes.
Yes, that's 5-4-0 opposed. Approving minutes for May 19th, 2026. Item number 4 is anyone from the public wish to speak? Anyone from the public? All right, seeing none. Any organizations? Also seeing none. Any officials? I am working on the budget sheet. I'll send them out this week. And I've already sent a couple out with the new stuff. That's my goal for this week. Yeah. Any other officials? All right, seeing none, we will go to item number 5, which is commissioner report. Scott, we'll start with you.
All right. So last week, I had a couple phone calls to a developer in my district that is working on 3 homes there, and just to get some clarification as to what the process was, just trying to help Marissa out a little bit as far as what is the next steps. And I think the conversation I had with the developer, I think was good, and I think we're all on the same page now. So see where it goes from there. Also had a meeting with the CDSO and his assistant about some emails that we had received, and I'm not going to go into detail. But we did talk about that, and I think we have a good solution that we worked through. And other than phone calls with Marissa pertaining to some other zoning things, and of course the salvage yard, I had quite a few calls on that as well. That's about all I have.
Thank you.
Sure. Last week, Daryl was gracious enough. I was under the weather, and we had a meeting with Josh, not Josh, but with Greg Busher, and about what's coming up on the agenda here, and we had to fill out a file. Eric Hofer and Gerald was kind enough to kind of take the lead on that, and he made the extra effort to stop by my house, and so filled me in on everything there. Everything's real satisfactory. Thank you, Daryl, for doing that, taking that extra step. Appreciate it. Coming up for me is the 4th of July kickoff, which is tomorrow evening at the Civic Center. I'm not sure which room it was, downstairs probably. It was tomorrow evening, I think it's 7. And then coming up from there, we have the Extension Board meeting not this month, but next month. It's on the schedule, and Dovish, so we'll do that. The other thing that we have coming up in next month is the Blue Valley. That's going to be by Zoom only. So if any of you want to take part in that, let me know. I'll get you a Zoom number or whatever. You can probably Randy probably has access. to them. So,
They usually send their agenda.
yeah, okay, that'd be fine. I did have a call from a couple of chairmen of different committees, just for updates and requests. Nothing earth-shaking. And so we'll follow up on all those dates and requests for those people. One is a visitors meeting coming up, and the kind of the agenda coming up for that for this coming year, especially the next 2 months. And so I guess that's it. Steve.
Thank you, Ken. All right, we will suspend commissioner reports and we will go to our 9:05 timed item, which is an executive session for personnel. This can be open or closed at the request of the individual. Yeah, just putting that out there. So we just need a motion to go into executive session.
A motion to go into executive session at 9:06 a.m.
Second, please call the roll.
Rocky,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Speedy,
Yes.
Carrick,
Yes.
Yes, that's 5-4-0 opposed to go into executive session at 9:05. I think I already received your request for this to be closed. Is that what you still request? Okay, so we'll have the board and Brandy and legal. Anybody else that you would like to have, though, you certainly can. So it's up to you. If you'd like Roxy or anybody else to be here, they can. Okay, sounds good. We need a motion to come out of executive session.
When we come out of executive session at 9:14 a.m.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Bobrowski,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Hein,
Yes.
McCarrick,
Yes.
Yes. 5-4-0 opposed, coming out of executive session at 9:14, where personnel was discussed and no decisions were made. Go to our next item, which is the employment status of a county employee. This is just regarding your status, Brandy, as a county employee. And we have done an outside investigation. So we've hired an individual to come in and do an outside individual. The board has made that request. That investigation has been done. And Ashley, if you want to maybe give us some insight on that, would be helpful.
The county asked our firm, Woods Aiken, out of Lincoln, Nebraska and Omaha, Nebraska, to come in and do a third-party independent investigation into concerns about whether or not certain Seward County policies were complied with. Following a very thorough investigation and a report that has been provided to the board on the findings, as well as considering a written response that was provided by Ms. Hafer. It would be my recommendation that the board move forward with terminating Ms. Hafer's employment based on the violations of county policy that were found.
Any questions for Ashley? Any discussion? Anything from your end, Brandy? Okay. If there's nothing else, then we probably need to discuss making a motion on Ms. Hafer's employment status.
You want discussion or you want a motion?
Well, if there's discussion, we have discussion. Otherwise, we need a motion.
We've discussed this at nauseam. I have nothing further to discuss.
Okay, I'll make a motion.
I would move that we accept the recommendation from the Wood Akins Law Firm based on the investigation they conducted at the Seward County Board's request to terminate the employment of Brandy Hafer as public transit director.
We have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a first and a second. Will you please call the roll?
Bobrowski,
Yes.
Hein,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
McCarrick,
Yes.
Yes. So that is 5-4-0 opposed to following the recommendation of Woods Aiken and terminating the status or the employment status of Brandy Hafer, who was our public transit director. Thank you, Brandy, for coming. Thanks for your service to the county. All right, we will circle back to our untimed items. We're on item number 5, which is commissioner reports. Scott, can you went? For myself, I attended a damaged property webinar, completed the rest of our evals like everybody else has been doing. I also received several calls about the conditional use permit, the proposed conditional use permit for a salvage yard. A lot of questions about the status and sort of where we are going to be. If there was going to be a public hearing today, a lot of that was not clear, so just trying to clear up some confusion. And then also I received a lot of calls and information regarding ag regulations as well. So there was a proposal made at the Planning Commission meeting to move forward with the ag regulations as they are. But it is my understanding that there are individuals who would still like to discuss what was proposed by the subcommittee during the public hearing. So I believe that information is going to come forward. So that is it for me.
Sorry, I have a question.
Mhm.
So the recommendation was made to bring the new regulations forward for approval, right?
That's true.
Outside of the remainder of the regulations, right? So it was basically to pull those new regulations and bring them forward.
I did not understand it that way. I understood it as they were pushing those forward as part of the overall regulation. Did you understand it that way?
The way I understood it was that they would bring all the regulations forward
Okay.
to replace the current regulations.
Got it. Okay, so that's what I understood last week. So I just wanted to make sure that that was still what was being
That's-
proposed.
That is my understanding.
But the caveat on that is that the Ag Regulations Subcommittee,
Yes.
they have different recommendations than what the new proposed regulations are.
The recommendation that they proposed, yes, it's different. I have it. It's the same for closed. Is that right? Closed feeding operations. It seems like it's the same, and then for open, it seems like it was a little bit shorter.
As far as the setbacks
Sorry.
go,
No, I
Backwards.
think
I
it's the
flipped that
other way.
backwards. For open, it's the same. For enclosed, it would be shorter than the proposed.
so the setbacks would be less than the proposed.
Yes, the difference is in our current regulations, there is not a differentiation between open and sort of enclosed. And so that's being separated out in the new regulations, the draft that Marvin Planning put together for us. And so they were basing their recommendation off of that, like separating the two to sort of give another option. I think that there are individuals who feel like it was confusing, like the information that was being shared was not, and I kind of, to be really honest, I asked a question because I wasn't quite understanding, is it or is it not? And I think that there were two different answers given that were completely opposite. So it's my understanding that they want to bring those back forward during that public hearing.
So, but what is their,
They already made their
on that?
recommendation, which is what's in the draft.
Mhm.
So, okay, so
Daryl?
Okay, I would have had a Seward City Council meeting last week, but that meeting was canceled due to a lack of quorum. That meeting will be held tonight, and I do plan on attending that meeting. The NERMA group held a jail webinar around suicides and jail regulations and whatnot with jails. That was rather informative. It's about an hour and a half long, and it was training that I've never had before. And I was interested to see the take on how some of these things can be evaluated, and hopefully we train our people to recognize the signs and avoid these consequences, because that always puts us in a bad spot from a legal perspective. Anytime there's an in-custody death, we need to try and minimize that. I did have a meeting as a liaison to the city with Greg Butcher. The crux of this meeting revolves around complaints that the city is getting about parking on the square again. And it tends to be parking basically on, I'll say, the courthouse side, primarily the west, the north, and the east side. And according to what Mr. Butcher shared, it is people that are coming to the courthouse to basically conduct business, and they say they cannot find a place to park. So we've been down this road. This isn't the first time this has been brought up. We didn't arrive at any real conclusions other than he wanted the mayor involved. So tonight, when I attend that city council meeting, I will meet afterwards with Greg Butcher and the mayor, and I'll bring some things back. But I think this is going to go down the road if we're going to start with county department heads need to tell employees you can't park on the square longer than what 2 hours is permissible. And they are going to ramp up enforcement. That's on them. They've got a community service officer, and it's their ordinance. So that's the direction I think this is going. There have been some other suggestions about how to solve this. We'll see how this plays out after I get done with the mayor, and they provide some guidance, at least from their perspective. I did complete my 3 evaluations, like most of all of you have done. The sheriff's office requested a short meeting about a topic. I won't discuss it here. Let's just say that I was not opposed to the matter as it was proposed, but I did request that they basically run this past the county attorney and see if this was something that we wish to engage in. And once we have that decision, I'll share that with the rest of them. I did attend a 911, I'll call it a security meeting. I've been attending these for the last 6-8 months. This revolves around the 250th anniversary of the country and the 4th of July, given the fact that Seward has been designated as one of those national type celebration cities. And there is definitely a concern for safety, obviously, given the current world climate. We've had a lot of different discussions over the past months, and we're down to kind of the end. Chief Peters basically advised that he's secured all of the barricades that he's asked for pretty much. There will be some different barricading around the square this year, different than what you may have seen in years past. Access points and control points, choke points. There will be some different controls with some of those. I might add that our new emergency management director has been involved in these meetings, and according to Chief Peters, she has been an integral part of the planning, and he is appreciative of her efforts with regards to this. So kudos to Megan for being involved early on. And like I said, I'll be at the city council meeting tonight to attend that meeting. So,
Thank you, Daryl. Reagan?
I had a fairly short or light week last week. I also received a phone call about the proposed conditional use permit that was on the planning commission meeting agenda last week, and just explained kind of the process and then how it works with, you know, the public hearing, because it was somebody who has never been involved in any kind of this process, but or any part of this process prior, but they are one of the individuals who had received a letter about it, so it is very nearby to their home. And then I also encouraged them, if they had any additional questions, to always follow up with Marissa as the zoning administrator. I also worked on and completed 2 employee evaluations that I sent to the board for review. We also received information that the candidate who had originally accepted the aging services program manager position rescinded their acceptance due to familial needs. So there was another individual who had applied that we are going to attempt to interview that individual before we make a determination as far as that goes. So we're hoping that that will be a Zoom meeting.
Daryl, did you want to go back to being a part of that committee, or did you want me to do that since I filled in for you?
I can come back to it. It's not a problem. I just had a conflict that one day with a Senate meeting I had in Lincoln, so I couldn't attend. But I can come back and do the process. I think
That's
It's
fine.
fine. Just email Roxy and let her know that you'll be sitting in on that. I also, on an extremely positive note, Misty and I received notification from Congressman Flood's office that our $3 million request for the paving of 420th was moved forward from Congressman Flood. So they are very, they really want to see our project come to fruition. So essentially Congressman Flood's office has appropriated $4 million to our project. And now they're going to put forward the additional $3 million. Now that money at this point could still be cut, but because it has to go through the House and the Senate, and then it has to go to the president's desk to be signed. But they really do want to see this project finished. Also keep in mind that we did apply for a build grant, which was the remainder of those funds as well. So we should hear back on that by the end of June. So I'm very hopeful that we'll receive full funding, which would be over $7 million for the paving of 420th Road. That's all I have.
Thank you, Reagan. One thing you just jogged my memory. We did actually receive an email from the Bridge Investment Program. So that was another federal grant. If you recall, we applied for it. We did never get an answer. We didn't get a follow-up meeting or debrief. And then we applied again. So they are just now reviewing applications from the fall of 24 for the 25. And so basically the email just says, if you want to change anything, if the scope has changed or something, you can update it. Otherwise, just tell us that you want to push it forward. So Reagan and I discussed it, and we decided to just push it forward. We don't think any additional work needs to be done on that. So that's for the BIP. And just a reminder, those are 5 bridges, all kind of in the northeast side of the county.
Yep.
One of them we share with Butler County, and they were part of that project as well.
Yep.
So, okay. Thanks, Reagan. All right, item number 6 is our sheriff's fee and mileage reports for March 2026 in the amount of $1,578 and another in the amount of $915.40. We have a motion to approve.
I will move that we approve the sheriff's fee and mileage reports for March 2026 in the amount of $1,578 and the other in the amount of $915.40.
Second.
Please call a roll.
Klein,
Yes.
Herrick,
Yes.
Zabrowski,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Yes, that's 5-4-0 opposed to approving the sheriff's fee and mileage reports for March of 2026. Item number 7 is the appointment of 2 members to the Veteran Service Committee. And based on some information, I think we're tabling this to next week. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So we will table item number 7 to next week's meeting. Do we want to time that if somebody's going to come?
Yeah, we should.
Okay. I'll make sure to
Yes.
time it.
Dave's gonna be here.
I turned that all the way down, so you're just lucky.
Sure.
Okay, and the next item is an executive session. I think we'll wait until the end of the meeting for that. So we will take a short recess until our 9:45 timed item. All right, the time is 9:45 a.m. We'll reconvene the meeting, go to our 9:45 timed item, which is our Veteran of the Month. Morning, Ray.
Yes, good morning. I'm going to introduce to you Mr. Lucas Brown. He was nominated by the Seward VFW Post. And I'll just let you have a seat, Lucas, and you can tell him your story.
Thank you, Ray.
All right, good morning. Thank you guys. Where to begin? So I started with the Army National Guard here in Nebraska at the 267th Maintenance Company. And so I did 4 years serving with them as kind of an IT specialist. But with the Army, you do a lot of different things. So we fixed vehicles, we worked on computers, night vision goggles, all that kind of fun stuff. And then did a 1-year tour over in Iraq, into Crit. And so that was probably the biggest and greatest experience of my entire military career. And I've been in now 24, almost 25 years. So currently serving still. I joined about 12 days prior to 9/11 happening. So, yep, I hadn't even been to my first guard drill yet, and so things changed rather quickly. So it was quite the experience to start off the career. So, but after returning from Iraq, then I had got a full-time job offer with the Air National Guard, and I've been there for the last 21 years now. So, I've been working communications, pretty much IT, my entire career. Currently serving as a major in the Air National Guard, and so running the communications department there for about the last 9 years. So it's been quite the experience. Got to do a lot of traveling, going a lot of different places, but only one deployment, and that was with the Army National Guard, never with the Air. So it's been good, been interesting. It's a good career.
How'd you make the jump from the Army to the Air Force?
Full-time job opportunity. That was really kind of what it came down to. Just there wasn't a full-time opportunity when I came back off deployment on the Army Guard side, and so I applied for one with the Air, and it was still more computer-related work, and thought I'll see where this one goes. My brother was Air Force as well, out in Cheyenne, so he said that it'd be a great move for you to do, and so I took the opportunity and jumped at it, and it's been very rewarding since then. So.
Just a personal note, my father did kind of the same thing, but he was a World War II vet that came home, got recalled for Korea, and the Air Force was still relatively new at the time. And rather than come back into the Army, he went back into the Air Force and stayed for another 20 years. And that's why I'm a service brat, and I've been all over the place, with Offutt being the last duty station, which makes me a Nebraska now. But thank you very much for your service. Very much appreciated.
Oh, you're welcome. Well, thank you.
Lucas, thank you again. Like Commissioner Zabrowski said, thank you so much for your service. You mentioned that you joined right before September 11th. Was that right after high school? And are you from the area originally?
So I'm originally from North Platte. That's where I graduated high school, and then came down. I was at UNL for 2 years. I was on the swimming and diving program there. And then they cut it after my sophomore year. So then I wanted to try to do a different path while still going to school. So I joined the Army National Guard, took a semester off to go through all my training, and then came back to try to finish up, and then ended up deploying right when I was a year shy of graduating.
Makes sense.
But,
And then you mentioned it was the Seward Post that nominated you. How long have you been involved?
ooh, Good one, Jeff. How have I been involved? Like 2008, 2009,
So
around there.
right when you got back-ish, you kind of got involved with the Legion.
Yep, because we were, let's see, my wife and I moved here from Lincoln in 2008. I want to say about 2009 time frame.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your
Yep.
service with that too. It's very important. We wish that we could help Ray recruit more individuals to be involved. Scott?
Seems like narrative.
You're welcome. Absolutely. I think that, you bet. I think volunteerism is very rewarding and a lot of fun. I got kids in almost every school system here, and so I've been a part of doing Voice of Democracy Patriot Pin for several years now. So it's always really good to do and getting into the school systems and seeing the kids, and then getting to give them awards when they do great things. So it's always fun, and got to do honors night this year again for scholarships.
Reagan, did you want to chime in?
I'll just echo the rest of the board. I just want to thank you for your service in the past, but also your continued service. Um, I never served in the military, and so I always appreciate those who dedicate their lives to the military, but also those who um, remain very vigilant in the community, because I think it says a lot about your character and your commitment. And I just thank you for that.
Thank you.
Great. So we have a plaque that we'd like to give you, or raise coming behind you, just to say thank you and to recognize your being the Veteran of the Month. And we'd love to take your photo too.
Yes, thank you.
Are you?
Yeah, I sent it to Ray.
Okay. It is 9:52, and we'll just take a 8-minute recess before our 10 o'clock timed item. Ready? All right, the time is 10 a.m. and we'll reconvene the meeting, go to our 10 o'clock timed item, which is to hear from Sarah Ehlers, the Staplehurst Volunteer Fire Department, requesting road closure on October 31st from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. for a fun run on Branched Oak Road from 336th Road to 364th Road. Good morning.
Good morning. My name's Sarah Ehlers. I'm the Secretary Treasurer for the Staplehurst Fire Department. Last year we came to you around, I think it was later in the year though, to request the same road closure for a fun run for the Fall Festival in Staplehurst. This one's going to be on Halloween, and we're actually getting it done this year. We request that the Branched Oak Road be closed from 336th to 364th Road from about 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. We're hoping to have it open earlier, just depending on how quick runners get done with the race. We do need the road closed in town, but I have that meeting tonight to request that from the village as well. It'll be a 5K. It'll be a lot of fun. There's not really one for fire departments around here, so we're hoping it'll bring a lot of attention.
Sure. Is that a Saturday or Sunday? What day is that?
That's Saturday.
Saturday.
Morning.
I was hopeful that you wouldn't be impacting the church crowd on Sunday.
No, nope. And then there's a whole bunch of stuff going on that day. There'll be a craft fair and the trunk or treat around the school.
Okay.
Sorts of things.
And have you talked to the roads department by chance already?
Not yet. We're hoping to just get approval first, and then
you'll talk to them.
We'll
And
do
same
all the
thing with
details.
Sheriff's Department if you need any assistance there.
Yep.
Okay.
Is it up and back, Tara? It's all
Yeah,
on Branched
I
Oak.
think it's I don't remember where the halfway point, if it's just past your house or past Colton Hood's house. And then you turn around and go right back to the fire hall.
Okay. Sounds good.
Take off from the fire hall and go out
Okay.
town.
Any other questions for Sarah? Not, we'll take a motion.
I will move that we approve the request for the Staplehurst Volunteer Fire Department for a road closure on October 31st, 2026 from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. for a fun run on Branch Stroke Road from 336th Road to 364th Road.
Please call the roll.
Hein,
Yes.
Mealy, Labrocky,
Yes,
Carrick,
Yes, that's 5-4-0 opposed to approving the request for the road closures on October 31st. Thank you.
Thank you
so
Sarah.
much. All right, we will take another 8-minute recess for our 10:10 timed item.
Yeah, there you go. True.
And I found myself like,
Okay. I don't know how else to do it. Okay, the time is 10:10.
that's a first.
And we'll reconvene the meeting and we'll go to our 10:10 timed item, which is the updated hiring bonus policy.
Morning.
As you have with you the updated hiring bonus policy with the edits that were discussed a few weeks ago, I believe.
It was not included in the scan.
Oh,
No.
no.
It's not in the scan. I don't know if this is
Shoot.
working.
Do you want me to bring this around then? I certainly can, but you haven't had time to review it.
Yeah, I would like time to review it. Is there a way we can do this again next week?
Yeah, that's fine.
Would the board be okay with that?
Actually, no, never mind.
Barb, have you had a chance to
I know
review
what
it
my
too?
position is.
Yeah. So what was changed was we took out any part of board approval. In the implementation, the tiers was now just one tier of $3,500.
Yep.
And it's up to the department head and how they will evaluate the factors. And then what was kept for the board was the policy can be adjusted at any time as determined by the board. I believe that was it if you want to double check me.
Yeah.
Look, there weren't a lot of changes.
Do you want to, can we copy? I think we can copy on that. Let me have that. Let's see if I can't make a copy over there. Easy.
I had a schedule for a change.
I'm really sorry.
Yeah, what's going on with you?
You know, I did take a quick question.
It's end of school year.
It's because of my coffee. I'm forwarding it to you right now.
This needs become email.
I forwarded.
Got it.
And then I have the attachment.
No.
It takes it off of it, too.
I don't have it. There's no attachment.
Yeah, I don't have an attachment either.
Can you just give me? It's probably warmed up now.
I hear it.
Yeah.
It's yelling at us.
she said that good to attach.
Can I? Stuck together. Okay, got it. Thanks. Is this the same payout structure as it was for tier 3 before?
Yes.
Is it tier 2 or tier, was it tier 2?
2.
Okay, thank you. Sorry.
Yeah, tier 3 was 5,000.
Thanks.
Any discussion about this? Looks like what we talked about. All right. I like it just being in the department head's hands. It's their budget and they have control over that. So, okay. There's no discussion. We'll take a motion.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Carrie,
Yes.
Hine,
Yes.
Sweetie,
Yes.
Zebrowski,
No.
Yes. So that's 4-4-1 against the updated hiring bonus policy. Thank you. Okay, we'll go to our 10:15 timed item, which is the Aging Services proposed changes to senior center funding allocation. Good morning.
Okay. I am here to recommend a change to the distribution. This is for the federal and state funds that come through Aging Partners. The current distribution is total for $19,000 across the 3 centers. Currently, Seward and Milford centers receive $6,500 annually. The Utica Center is $6,000. This recommendation reflects some changes in service levels and is better aligned with their current scope of services. And it's a recommendation beginning July 1 of 2026.
Okay.
Milford currently I'm recommending a reduction of $500 due to an approximately 36% decrease in meals served between current fiscal year and the year prior. This recommendation, the recommendation would be then for $6,000 annually.
Seward would receive an increase of $300. This is due to a 17% increase in meals served, again, between current fiscal year and year prior. That would be a total of $6,800. And the Utica would be an increase of $200 due to a 25% increase in meals served between the current fiscal year and the year prior, for a total of $6,200 for next year, the fiscal year. This retains the total of $19,000 on the budget impact.
Allison, I have a couple questions.
Yes.
So, totally understand the decreases and increases in
Yeah.
meal service. Those dollars, the $19,000, is it for a meal service or is it kind of to use at their discretion?
It is to use at their discretion.
Okay.
There is a separate funding pool within the budget that comes from reimbursement from USDA funds.
Yep.
That is a separate pool that also comes through from Aging Partners, but it's actually from USDA.
It's a pass through.
Yeah, it's basically a pass through. Those fundings have decreased from 70 cents to 50 cents going into next fiscal year. That is
Per
set
per meal,
per meal.
per person.
Yes,
Okay.
per meal. If it's a qualified meal for a person over 60 or others.
Right.
Yeah. And so that is based on USDA funding.
Okay, so my second question is specific to Milford, obviously. That's my district. Sometimes in past city council meetings, there's been discussion, and maybe I'm saying this wrong, so if I am,
Yeah.
apologies. But there's been discussion about struggling to get the meal, and I don't know if this is the case anymore, but in the past it was like, they would find somebody to provide those meals, but they had to order so many meals to even be able to do that. So then the difference, they're just sort of eating every day. Is that still happening? Do you know?
Yes, and yes, it is, because there has been a decrease in actual participation.
But they were already sort of
But-
struggling to meet that threshold, and I don't even know what it was, like say 15 or 20 or
Yeah,
whatever.
I think
So
that
that it's decreased from that even.
to my understanding, yes, it has.
So then,
Um,
and
yeah.
I know I'm only bringing this up because we're talking about growth and decrease in meal participation. So then the difference between what they get, obviously, does USDA pay the 50 cents per meal ordered, or does it have to be a meal that's
consumed.
consumed? So like, let's say that the minimum is 15 and they're only ever getting 7 people regularly. The city of Milford and the Milford Senior Center are sort of eating the cost of those 8 meals every day.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, USDA is only for meals consumed, and it is only for meals consumed by someone over the age of 60 or other qualifying
Yeah.
Categories for the Older Americans Act.
Okay.
It also, that decreases in meals, but overall in services, there has been a decrease between the centers.
Okay. So meaning Milford services have decreased as well.
Milford services have decreased. I shouldn't say services offered, it's participation in services offered. There has
In general participation.
Yes, in general. Seward has maintained fairly consistent. There's a minimal decrease in exercise activities, which was anticipated with the opening of the wellness center. Utica has had an overall increase in service participation across the board between year to year.
But just to clarify, the funds are not specific to the meal.
Correct.
We're just making that recommendation based on decrease in participation and increase in participation.
Yes.
For the reallocation.
Yes. It is not meal specific. These funds are to be utilized however they see fit.
So sorry that I'm asking so many questions.
No.
So if we're talking specifically, do you know approximately what they pay per meal? What the senior center pays per meal? Is it like $5, $7?
I apologize, I didn't bring all that. I believe currently Milford is paying around $8 per meal to Southeast Community College.
Okay.
They are requesting a suggested contribution of $8 as well.
Okay.
Utica is between 7 and 750 in the last year because they've gone with different vendors throughout, and their suggested contribution is $7.
How many days a week are they offering the meals?
Milford had been offering 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. Currently in the summer, because Southeast Community College is not in session, they are doing it 3 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Also, by doing that, they are kind of looking at going into next year to see if that might increase or decrease participation. I don't know. It's kind of a seeing how it goes. Seward is at 5 days a week. Utica is 2 days a week.
Okay.
Seward still go through Pack and Save.
Primarily, yes. Yes. Mhm.
My challenge with it, I mean, I understand the reason, so I'm not arguing the reason at all, but just thinking about it from the perspective of my district, if let's just go with that number 15. Let's say the minimum that they have to buy from Southeast Community College is
Right.
15, and on average, let's say 7 people are attending, then that's $8 and 8 meals that they're essentially, I don't want to say wasting, but that are not being consumed each day. That's $64 a day. If they were doing that 5 days a week, that's
But there are options for them to go elsewhere for meals as well. So
elsewhere
that's
to
something.
purchase the meals or
Mhm.
elsewhere to, okay.
Yep. I mean, that's an option for them as well. The hard thing is that they're, the changes that are occurring in Milford, and this is where, as a county, right? So these are money essentially. It's coming from the federal government to the county. We don't have to provide any money to the senior centers, but we do. So that's money that we could keep within the budget, and that's the way that it's always been done. But the hard thing is that the senior centers run independently of the county. And so the senior center, in my opinion, and the city should be working, or the village, right, should be working to try and increase those numbers so that they at least reach that bare minimum number. Because if not, and I'm not saying that I don't want people to have like a USDA approved meal,
Yeah.
because I absolutely do. But at the same time, like if that's not working for them, they may need to look at options for going elsewhere for meals. But also, what is it that they need to do to try and bring people in?
It is, yeah, it's probably both. For some folks that you can get a meal for a nutritious meal because it has to meet federal regulations of nutrition requirements. You can get a meal for a very reasonable cost. But ultimately, it comes down to a lot of socialization for that. And because for the Older Americans Act dictates you can't technically charge for if they meet that qualification. It is a donation or a contribution for that meal. So it's very rare do they break even, and that's why fundraisers are important in that. And if it's a charged meal, like for a birthday dinner, some centers require you pay this, others still run it on a contribution level because they kind of deem those birthday dinners as a fundraiser kind of thing. That's just the difference, and it's up to the senior center to decide how to do that. Seward charges it. Their birthday meals are like any other meals. For a contribution, Milford does a set fee for their birthday meals. Again, it's up to the senior center. And there's a variety of reasons. Because I'm not daily involved in the senior centers, and that's not the role of the county in our relationship with them. But just kind of observing the last couple years and having conversation with the directors, there's a variety of reasons why those numbers have increased or decreased. And it would be hard to pinpoint just one reason why. Um, and so but that's just kind of where it's at, where things are. Again, as Reagan said, this funding's not dependent just on the meals. That's just kind of the more telling of when you look at a senior center, it's not just meals, but that's kind of the main draw initially, and then some of the other things come through.
Any other discussion?
At the end of the day, this looks like almost a wash here. Am I reading that right?
It really
It's
it
more
does.
of a reshuffle or a
It,
reallocation.
very much a reallocation of funding. At the bottom line, it has not changed from that $19,000 annual. Um, I don't know how long these numbers have been set this way, but they've been set this way since I've been here. And I don't know how they were determined, this different allocation. There was, I just don't know. It hasn't been,
Yeah, and we had tried to figure out kind of how long it had been. I mean, I had asked Brandy to go back and look, just because we can go in and we can look at what we've paid out, and it's been going on for very, very long time. Like I think we just stopped looking after like 2020 or maybe 2018. I mean, it was. Mhm.
So if and obviously you won't be here to help us with this.
yeah.
Sad. But if the number, like, is this something that you think should be done every year moving forward? Because here's my struggle. Like, I can't. I understand the increase for everyone else. So
Sure.
there's a definite, regardless, there's more participation,
Sure.
there's more cost, I get it. But when it's a decrease and I'm aware that there are already challenges to begin with, and then I'm hearing that it's decreasing even more, I'm struggling to be okay with cutting funding because I know that they're not getting the funding, somewhere else. So I'm sure it's participation with everything, fundraisers and potato bakes and all of the things. My guess is it's probably declined as well. So let's say that we look at this again next year and that's changed. Maybe Seward's gone down and Utica's gone up and Milford's gone up. Would we reallocate then? How would that work? Or should we be redoing this every year?
Um, I think it would be fiscally responsible to look at it, if not annually, biannually, because that really gives you a clear picture on kind of what things are happening. And I think if you look at it every couple years, it does make sense because you might have a year where they have to close for snow days multiple times, and it affects things here and there a little bit. Or one of their vendors just says, "We're done. We aren't going to be the provider for the meals." Or whatever kind of. My recommendation is to look at it at least annually so you know where the numbers are at, and then possibly recommend if there's a drastic shift, year two. The other component that could be an option, is the software programming that the senior centers have that coordinates with aging partners to do the reporting and to keep the statistics and to do the check-ins and things. Each senior center is billed for that license annually. That is $675 annually. The county is not billed for that. There could be an option of looking at splitting that cost and between the county and the centers, where the county would pick up half of that license fee per center.
With these funds or with additional funds?
It would be additional funds out of like our software budget for
Got
the
it.
county. Yeah.
Okay, any other discussion or questions?
What was the recommended total annually for Milford? I have 68.
6,000.
Okay,
68, 62.
got it.
Yep.
Make a motion.
I will move that we approve the aging services proposed changes to senior center funding allocations Seward in the amount of $6,800 annually, Utica in the amount of $6,200 annually, and Milford in the amount of $6,000 annually.
Do we have a second? Please call the roll.
Klein,
Yes.
Carrick, Sweetie,
Yes.
Rocky,
Yes.
No. Just clarifying why I'm saying no. I think you know. I
Yeah.
totally see the need for additional funding for those that are participating, but I do think that there's other project or issues. And I think even $500 is a difference. When I was just doing the math, I'm like, if they were throwing away, say, 8 meals a day, that's $64 a day. You get there in 2 weeks pretty easy. So that is the only reason I'm a no. I support everything else, and I appreciate you looking into this and doing the work. So
Question, who communicates this to the centers?
So I would say that would probably be you
Okay,
because the recommendation came from aging services.
sure. Okay,
And then if they have any follow-up questions as to why that was done by the board, I mean, people can come to any board member, but they can also
Okay.
come to me as the liaison from the board also as to
that
why
sounds
why we made that determination.
Okay.
Also, our meetings are now posted on YouTube,
yes.
so people can go and they can listen to the context of the conversation as well.
That sounds great. I will do that.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Allison, it looks
Yeah.
like you are ready for warmer weather.
I am ready.
You're
for
getting
more
ready to
of-
dive into
Yes,
the
dive
years of
in.
the
Yes,
lifestyle.
very much.
We will miss you.
Yeah,
Thank
very
you.
much so.
Thank you
Okay.
so much for your support. I am grateful, and it has been a wonderful opportunity for me. I've enjoyed serving with the residents of the county and with all of you. So thank you.
Thank you
Thanks,
so
Allison.
much. We'll miss you. Stay in touch.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye, Allison.
Bye.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, we will go back to our item number 8, which is an executive session for personnel and strategy. We just need a motion to go into executive session.
I will move that we go into executive session for personnel and strategy at 10:36 a.m.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Klein,
Yes.
Rocky,
Yes.
Sweetie, Carrick,
Yes, that's 5-4-0 opposed to going into executive session at 10:36 a.m. We'll have the board and legal present. That's true. welcome. I need to do that. Circus trick. Circus tricks.
Because she's like Stretch Armstrong.
Are we ready? All right. The time is 12:32 p.m. and we need a motion to come out of executive session.
Move to come out of executive session at 12:32 p.m.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Rocky,
Yes.
Pine,
Yes.
Carrick,
Yes.
Sweetie,
Yes, that's 5-4-0 opposed, coming out of executive session at 12:32 p.m. where personnel and strategy was discussed and no decisions were made. Next item is the agenda for June 2nd, 2026.
So I don't have anything yet except want to put the veteran service committee back on anyone's mind. So I can put it next. Also, we have plans. It's 9:15.
Anything else from anyone? Okay. All right, then we'll take a motion to adjourn.
Move we adjourn the May 26, 2026 Board of Commissioners meeting at 12:33 p.m.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Rocky,
Yes.
Pine,
Yes.
Sweetie, Carrick,
Yes, that's 5-4-0 opposed to adjourning the meeting.